Number 12 is a pretty straightforward probability question. We want to find the probability that we have a male cat owner. So if you look at the table, we can see that there is a total of 188, and there are 40 male cat owners. So that probability is simply 40 over 188. Since the answer choice is already there, there's no need to reduce the fraction, no need to turn it into a percentage. The answer here would be A. In problem number 13, we have a restaurant that charges $5 for a cheeseburger, $4 for a hamburger. We need to buy at least 2 of each sandwich and only spend between $20 and $30. So I know that the total cost, which would be 5C plus 4H, has to be between $20 and $30. And I would probably make a table here. I have cheeseburgers, I have hamburgers, I have the total cost, and I know a cheeseburger is $5. I know a hamburger is $4. So as an example, if I purchase 2 and 2, which is the minimum, that would give me 20 or 10 plus 18, which is $18. That's not enough. So if I increase the number of hamburgers to 2 and 3, that would give me $22. That's okay. 2 and 4, that would give me $26. 2 and 5, that would give me $30. So this one is not good. That one's not good, but it is possible to purchase 2 cheeseburgers. If I increase the number of cheeseburgers to 3, I still have to purchase a minimum of 2 hamburgers. So that would be $23. 3 and 3 would be $27. 3 and 4 would be $31. That one's wrong, but it's still possible to purchase 3 cheeseburgers. If I increase the number of cheeseburgers to 4, I still have to purchase a minimum of 2 hamburgers. So that would be 5 times 4, which is 20. 4 times 2, which is 8. So that would be $28. That's possible. But as soon as I increase it to 3 hamburgers, it would be $32, and that's too much. So that's wrong, but 4 cheeseburgers is possible. If I increase it to 5 cheeseburgers, and I still have to purchase a minimum of 2 hamburgers, 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 2 is 8. 25 plus 8 is 33, so I'm already over. So you can see from the table, only 2, 3, and 4 are possible. So any of those answers would be okay on number 13. In number 14, we have to solve for y in terms of x. So we want to get this y by itself. So to do that, we would add 4x to both sides. So that would give me 12 plus 4x is less than 6y. And then I would divide both sides by 6. So make sure you divide everything on the left side by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then we get 4 over 6x is less than y. And then finally reduce the fraction. 4 over 6 reduces to 2 over 3. So that would give me 2 plus 2 over 3x as my answer. So the answer here would be D. In problem number 15, we're looking for which point could possibly provide a line that has a positive slope and a positive y-intercept. So the first thing we'll do is graph all of the points in the answer choices. So we have point A, -4, 5. Here's point A. We have B, which is 2, 0. We have C, which is 3, -6. And then we have D, which is 0, -1. And so we know that it has a positive y-intercept. That means there's another point that's somewhere in this section right here. So if we look at point B, 2, 0, any point that we put and we connect it to B, we know that's going to have a negative slope because all of the line is decreasing from left to right. So we know that B is not a viable answer choice. The same thing is true for C. Any point that we connect here with a positive y-intercept will also be decreasing, going down. So we know that answer choice C is not a viable answer choice. If we look at answer choice D, any point on the y with a positive y-intercept will simply lead to a vertical line. That has an undefined slope, not a negative slope. And then it's true, if we connected some points here, we would have a negative slope, but we could make our y-intercept positive and higher than the value of A. That would give me a positive slope. That's why the answer here is A. In problem number 16, we have a triangle, and we know it has a right angle B, and we have lengths of 7 and 24. So let's draw a diagram. And we know the right angle is B, so we'll put B over there. AB has a length of 7 units, so that's the shorter one. This is 7. And BC has a length of 24 units. That's the longer one, longer leg. And we have to find the length of AC, which we'll call X. So this is just a Pythagorean theorem question. So we'll write 7 squared plus 24 squared equals X squared. If you know your Pythagorean triples, you'll know 7, 24, 25. So X would be 25. If you don't, just solve the equation. You'll have 49 plus 576 equals X squared, which would then give me 625 equals X squared. Take the square root of both sides. So that'd give me 25 equals X. So AC would be 25 units long. Okay, in number 17, we have a function which is expressed as f of x equals k, and k is a constant. It's a real number like 2, 3, 4, -5. And so we can kind of just imagine f of x equals 3. That's a possibility. What would that graph look like? It would be 3 spaces up, and it would simply be a horizontal line. So if we think about the conditions here, we can see that, does it form a line? Yeah, it forms a line. It's always going to form a line. It's going to be a horizontal line. Even if we changed it to another number, it would still be a horizontal line. The slope is 0. That's correct because we can see it's horizontal. It's not going up or it's not going down. So the slope is 0. The slope will always be 0. But if you look at number 3, you can see it has a range from -infinity to infinity. The range is all the possible y values. So the domain would be -infinity to infinity, but the range is limited to whatever that constant is. So 3 is not true, but 1 and 2 are. That's why the answer here would be C. In problem number 18, we have a right rectangular prism. So let's just draw a picture of what that might look like. A rectangular prism would just look like that. And what do we know about it? We know that the smallest edge is 2 centimeters long. We know that the next greatest edge is twice the length of the smallest edge, so twice 2 is 4. And then the greatest edge is 3 times the length of the smallest edge, so that would be 2 times 3, which would be 6. So we have to find the surface area of the prism. Remember, for a rectangular prism, we have 6 faces, so we have to add them all together. So the first one we could just do here. That would just be 2 times 4. But there's 2 of them. That would be the front and the back. Then we could find this one right here. That would be 6 times 4. But again, there's 2 of them. In this case, that would be the top and the bottom. And then finally, we could look at the side here. That would be 2 times 6. But again, there's 2 of them because in this case we would have the sides, the left and the right. So just work this out. That would give me 2 times 8 plus 2 times 24 plus 2 times 12, which would be 16 plus 48 plus 24. And if you add those all together, you would get 88 square centimeters because we're in centimeters. So the answer here would be D. In this problem, we have a person who makes money recycling cans and bottles. She earns 10 cents per can, 16 cents for each bottle, and she wants to earn at least $100. So the first thing I would write is I would write 0.1C plus 0.16B is going to be greater than or equal to 100. 10 cents for each can, 16 cents for each bottle, has to be greater than or equal to 100. We also know that this person has already collected 600 cans. So we can just replace C with 600. And we can solve this for B because we want to find the minimum number of bottles she would need to reach her goal. So if we multiply this out, 0.1 times 600 would be 60, plus 0.16B is greater than 100. Subtract 60 on both sides, so that would give me 0.16B is greater than or equal to 40, and then divide both sides by 0.16. So that would give me B is greater than or equal to 250, because 40 divided by 0.16 would be 250, so the answer here would be A. In problem number 20, we have two things going on. We have an angle here and an angle X. This is what we call an intercepted arc. And this is what we call an inscribed angle. And this is just a definition that you need to know. An intercepted arc is always going to be double of the inscribed angle. So to go from an intercepted arc to an inscribed angle, we multiply by a half, or to go from an inscribed angle to an intercepted arc, we multiply by 2. So in this case, X would be half of 50. So X would be 25 degrees. Problem number 21 is pretty straightforward. Spends 5 minutes watering each tree, 2 minutes watering each shrub, and she can spend no more than 30 minutes. So if you kind of look at the answer choices, you immediately know this is wrong because that means she's spending more than 30 minutes. And how do you figure out the time she spends? She spends 5 minutes watering each tree and 2 minutes watering each shrub. And we know she can spend no more than 30 minutes, so it has to be less than or equal to 30. So the answer here would be B. Answers C and D don't really make any sense because these wouldn't be formulas to figure out the time she's spending watering the trees. In problem number 22, we have the price of a video streaming service. It increases by 15% each year, and the price begins at V dollars. So that means at time equals 0, P equals V. But then after 1 year, how do we figure out the price? Well, we have to take the current price, but then we have to add 15%. So that would be P equals V times 1.15. And so that's why the answer here would be C, 1.15. Some people might think the answer would be 15 or 0.15, which would be A, but you're not adding the previous price. D would be adding 55% each year, and then B would actually be giving you a discount of 15%.